So I'm in Bodrum for the first time, and the plan for this day is to explore the city a little bit, get the general vibe for it. I'm not gonna go to any of the museums or ruins, but we definitely will check out the beach. We will check out the castle for the sea views, and of course shopping. We'll go to shopping street, but not for the souvenirs or stuff like that, but more for what's the best deal we can have for price quality with Turkish brands. Bodrum is one of the cities on Turkish Riviera. It's right between Izmir and Antalya, and also close to another popular beach city in Turkey, Marmaris. And both Bodrum and Marmaris, they are famous for being party cities. And to get to Bodrum, you can come from nearby Milas airport and take a public bus from there. Or if you're traveling from Europe, you can come from airport in Kos, Greece, and take about 40-minute ferry to Bodrum. Bodrum itself seems to be very walkable, and actually streets are so narrow it's best to explore it on foot, especially the closer you are to the marina, the smaller the streets are, and getting around by car there is very difficult. There are taxis of course in the city, but we'll talk about them a bit later. I'm walking close to the marina, and all around me I see shops, I see bars, restaurants. It really does give you a small city resort vibe, and for me personally it feels very relaxed, and I do start liking Bodrum more and more as I walk. At the marina you will find a beautiful promenade where you can buy a boat tour, but also what I see is different is this is like a beach town. If Antalya, for example, and Fethiye, they are bigger, and there you do get both beach vibe, but as soon as you're 10-15 minutes away from the beach, it's a big city vibe. So for long term, I probably wouldn't live in Bodrum, but if you want the holiday vibe, pure holiday vibe, this is your place, because all you see here on the streets are mostly tourists, of course. It's almost lunchtime and I'm looking where I can eat, and at the marina there are many restaurants and cafes to choose from. And I know sometimes it can be intimidating to go to a local restaurant, especially if you don't know the place, if you don't know the country. And on one hand, you want to try traditional food and support local small businesses, but on the other hand, you don't want to be treated like a stupid tourist who doesn't know prices. So sometimes the fear of being scammed, it does stop you from going to a local unknown restaurant. My solution is to go to a small local place that is not in the city center, not right at the marina or at the touristy spot, but go somewhere further away from the city center in the back street, and go either into a traditional restaurant there or try some Turkish fast food. Essentially, if you see locals are sitting and eating there, this is probably a good place. Or if I am in the city center, like right now at the marina, I will go for a big chain restaurant that I already know. And for example, here in Bodrum, I saw restaurants like Mado, Big Chefs, Happy Moons, coffee shops like Starbucks, Espresso Lab, Kahve Dünyası, Nero Cafe. And here in Bodrum, I went to restaurants Big Chefs and the next day Happy Moons for lunch. But still, the bill surprised me. So Big Chef's restaurant is in the same building as the DoubleTree Hilton Hotel, and inside you can see they have a nice area where you can eat and also a pool. They have a bar as well. I ordered a cappuccino and a so-called fit burger. And something that I didn't expect to see is a service bill. So let's see what we can get in Happy Moons, and it's also a very stylish restaurant, I would say. Here we have noodles and chicken salad. I walk further along the coast, and what I see that Bodrum turned out to be beautiful, and it's quite different to Marmaris, where we went to before. And the tradition of painting the walls in white color is most likely because the white paint has lime and it's known to be a bug and scorpion repellent. Also, white, of course, is heat repellent, and Bodrum is very, very hot in the summertime. It's something like from 35 degrees Celsius to around 40. And the old belief is that blue color is supposed to protect from malicious effects of envy. So I guess this is how the white and blue came to be the dominant colors in Bodrum. Also, Bodrum is part of Mugla municipality, and the governor actually banned anything but white color on the buildings. And this was done to protect the historical fabric and cultural identity of the city. I walked all the way to the old city walls, and they used to play an important role in the city's defense. Although most of the remains of the wall are now actually buried beneath modern Bodrum, but some you can still see. And from what I read, there is actually even a colosseum that now lies beneath the Bodrum, and there are plans by the municipality to unearth it. After visiting this beautiful viewpoint, I wanted to check out the beach. On a map, I found the Bardakchi beach. The pictures looked like this, so it all looked very promising. To actually get to the beach for some time, I had to walk down, and on my way I saw some premium luxurious hotels. So that got me a bit intimidated. I thought maybe the beach is only for the guests of the hotel. So let's see if I can actually get there. Oh, this is the Aska probably. They have a nice pool by the looks of it. And their own territory. Also people already swimming from here. So, and we who do not stay in this fancy hotel, not yet, we have to go by this small road. So this is when it's open and closing. So that's the public part of the beach. Not big, not big. So yeah, this was the small stretch of the beach that is actually open for public and is not occupied by hotels. And if you want a bigger and nicer territory of the beach, you do have to stay at one of the luxurious hotels. Or I read online that you can pay something from 200 to 500 Turkish lira, and they will allow you to use the territory of the beach, and that would even include the drinks. And of course, this is not the only public beach in Bodrum, and later in the day we will go to most popular beach area in Bodrum. I guess with this one I just got a bit unlucky by just pointing on a map and going there without knowing too much about this part of the beach. For now I'm gonna get a taxi that will take me to the castle, to the main attraction of the city. The taxi driver did use a taximeter, so with that I had no issues. But my experience was that the taxi driver himself did not want to take me all the way to the castle, all the way along the marina. So after he dropped me off, I still had to walk for about 15 more minutes. And in the heat I did not want to do it, but that was my only option essentially. So this is the castle, and you have to pay 150 Turkish lira for the entry ticket. And the secret to having it cheaper is if you are a resident in Turkey, then you can get a museum card for 60 Turkish lira, and then you use that card to enter every museum like that all over Turkey. And I would say even if you're not interested in history, you should definitely still check out the castle, because it does have beautiful views over Bodrum. It's a great place to take a break from the beach for some time and to make some amazing photos. And what is quite interesting about this castle, it was a transnational effort. It has 4 towers known as the English, French, German and Italian towers. And it was even used as a prison for some time. But to this day, the Castle of Bodrum keeps its original design and character of the Knights period and reflects Gothic architecture. Now we will explore a bit a market at the city center, and it is a very touristy place, and there I personally wouldn't shop at a market like this, but it is a nice area to walk and to see it, especially if you've never been in Turkey before. If you want to buy something there, you will have to haggle, and personally I recommend just go to a shopping street where you can buy the same clothes at Turkish brand shops. But this area is also full of bars and restaurants, and every tourist in Bodrum, I guess, goes here for dinner. What I haven't seen in other countries is that even at a place like this, very touristy right at the beach, there will be an inexpensive cafe for locals, mostly for working class people, so they too get to enjoy sitting right at the beach. Otherwise, there are just very expensive touristy restaurants and locals usually cannot afford them. For better prices, I would recommend to go somewhere in the back alley, although these places still look to me just for tourists. If you're on a very tight budget, I advise you to go to a locanda. It's a local buffet. But we decided to try a restaurant by the beach to give one of them a chance. So this is the most popular beach that I kept promising you, and you see restaurants go all the way to the water side. And here on the right I see the castle that I just went to. The water there was quite clean and it's quite a shallow beach. The beach promenade in the evening was very lively and it was an enjoyable walk. Many tourists there, of course. Most of the restaurant owners would try to get you inside. We decided to go for an Asian restaurant. The location is very nice. You are right at the seaside, listening to the sounds of the waves. We ordered noodles and rice. We also took a couple of drinks, a beer and a cocktail, and cocktails there especially were very expensive, again by Turkish standards. And with time the restaurant was getting busier and busier. So now let's go to shopping street, and this is my recommendation where to shop. Not at the market, but here. De facto is one of the brands that I always show you in the shopping videos. It's a Turkish inexpensive brand of clothing, and there you can buy all the essentials. In shops like this in Bodrum, I see mostly summer clothes and beachwear. In the description below I will leave a location of the street if you want to shop here. And another brands that you can check out is LTB, Mavi, LC Waikiki. The prices in shops will be in Turkish lira, and the international credit cards are accepted if you do not have cash with you, but also on that street you will find exchange offices. But this is not the only area where you can shop. There is a more premium area. It's right next to the marina. There you will find more upscale, more expensive brands and restaurants. And as you can see, even the promenade here in between shops, it is shielded from the sun. So if you want a more premium experience, then I suggest you go here for shopping, and I will leave a location in the description below. There you will even find one of the supermarkets, Carrefour. It's a small one, but there you will be able to find all the basics, and of course the alcohol you can also buy there. I even saw a gluten-free bira, which means gluten-free beer. I bought myself mineral water, and it's one of the premium brands in Turkey. After the first day in Bodrum, we decided to check out nearby resort Gumbet and have a drive along the coast, hoping to find some amazing viewpoints. So let's find out how Gumbet compares to Bodrum and other resorts on Turkish Riviera. And I already fell in love with Bodrum, but who knows, maybe Gumbet is even a better place for a beach holiday. And just to clarify, Bodrum is the main city and resort on the whole Bodrum Peninsula. And it has many restaurants, shops, bars and lots of hotels. And it is a beautiful place and a working city and not just a holiday resort. And Gumbet is also a part of the Bodrum Peninsula, but it's a city in its own right. It's just 3 kilometers from Bodrum, and we got there by car very quickly. And just like Bodrum, it had very narrow streets, so we parked the car and walked through the town on foot. If you don't have a car, Bodrum and Gumbet, they are connected by a local bus, Dolmuş, and in Bodrum there is a bus station right in the city center. And those shared buses in Turkey are usually quite inexpensive, so it will be an affordable ride. My main impression from Gumbet right away that this is a 100% touristy place. Everything is made to cater to holidaymakers, all the restaurants, bars and clubs. We heard even loud music starting at something like 6 or 7 p.m. There were small shops everywhere selling beachwear, and of course we recognized the restaurant street, the bar street. Although I must say Gumbet had a more relaxed vibe compared to Bodrum, not so much hustle and bustle, more of a resorty vibe. But it felt like mostly it is made to cater to younger people, maybe in their 20s, 30s, 40s. There were so many bars and restaurants and beach clubs that we will see later in the video, so you will definitely not get bored there. Most of the tourists, in my opinion, were from England, and I even read that Gumbet sometimes is called the small England of Bodrum. And because of that, some shops were offering to exchange money from not only euros and dollars, but from British pounds, and I assume they also accept British pounds as payment. We are in Gumbet in August, and I must say that the heat is crazy, and if you want to be out during the day, I say the best thing to do is either to just be on the beach and in the sea or chill in one of the beach clubs. That's why mostly during the daytime you don't really see that many tourists just walking the streets, but there will be quite some tourists on the beach. And this is the appropriate clothing for this kind of weather. Shirt, fully closed, buttoned down, buttoned up.
It sounds a bit stupid that you think that you are really hot, but believe me, it's actually colder if you are fully dressed than if the sun is burning your skin.
Well,
and it's also a lot healthier.
And if I compare Gumbet and Bodrum even to Marmaris, they both feel smaller. For me personally, it gives a more relaxed resort vibe, this small town feeling, if you know what I mean. But if you want more shopping possibilities and more things to do besides beach clubs, then maybe Fethiye, Alanya or Antalya might be for you. Antalya is the biggest of these cities. Also near Antalya there is Belek, Kemer and Side. They are small town resorts, and all of them are famous for 5-star all-inclusive resorts. But for sand beach, I would recommend going to Side, and Kemer is famous for some big clubs if you want to party. Also, the marina there has some really amazing mountain views, and you can visit nearby a very tall mountain Tahtali. There is a cable car. And once I make more footage from different resorts in Turkey, I will do a comparison video for all the resort cities on Turkish Riviera. I said earlier about Gumbet that it's most likely for younger people who want to party in their 20s, 30s, maybe 40s, and here we even see a bar that says 70s, 80s, 90s. So I guess they play that kind of music, so even if you're a bit older but you still don't want a too relaxed holiday, you want some action, I guess Gumbet can be a good place for you. And like on the whole Bodrum Peninsula here in Gumbet as well, hotels are right on the beachfront. There is also a nice promenade for you to walk along the beach. And if you're bored with your hotel, you can visit some other beach clubs. But pay attention, because we did see that some of them are only for the guests of the hotel, so you cannot enter. There is normally a sign, but we saw, for example, this beach club, it seemed to be open for everyone, and the music there was kind of reggae. It had a really nice vibe by the sounds of it. And sometimes I get questions what kind of clothes can you wear in Turkey, and as you can see, in a beach town, in a resort like this, you just wear essentially whatever you want, as long as you are not naked and you're not exposing yourself. It was quite busy on the beach in the beginning of August, but definitely not overcrowded, and it seemed like in Gumbet there was plenty of space. One of the hotels that we did want to check out was Parkim Ayas. And it's quite a big hotel, and we saw people enjoying the pool party, and it did look quite fun. We are passing some beach restaurants, and we see that exchange rate is different in different places. But often they only offer this rate when you buy something from them, not if you just want to change your money. And if you will have some Turkish lira left over by the end of the trip, then the rate to change it back will be worse. And personally, I wouldn't recommend keeping more than, say, 100 or maybe 300 Turkish lira for your next trip, because inflation in Turkey right now is very high and prices increase almost every other week. So best approach on a holiday, in my opinion, is to exchange only as much money as you need for the day, and use credit or debit card when you can. Of course, if your own bank gives you a good exchange rate. Otherwise, just bring cash, euros, dollars, British pounds. And in a town like Gumbet or Bodrum, you will definitely be able to pay with your foreign currency. There are also lots of restaurants around offering all kinds of food. And if you want Indian, they have it. And sushi.
I manage this restaurant 29 years. We have the international cuisine, Chinese, Italian, Indian, Turkish restaurant. Very popular, also very hygienic restaurant. Look into me, manager.
Yes, you look very good.
In Gumbet, never same, never same. Yeah.
Çok güzel.
Oh, I'm from America.
Memnun oldum.
American.
No. Netherlands.
Hollanda.
Polonia.
Hollanda.
Hollanda.
Hollanda.
Oh, Amsterdam. My brother work in the NATO.
They always have a brother in Amsterdam. Nice to meet you.
You know NATO.
Memnun oldum.
Listen me, NATO soldier, NATO. My brother engineer, electronic engineer. No joke.
I believe.
So Rene is being hustled. The restaurant owner is not letting him go. Yeah, but he's friendly.
Yapma ya.
Oh. Discount?
10% discount.
Yeah.
He knows I'm Dutch.
Yeah. And if you want to save up some money and you need a drink, you can shop, for example, at BİM. It's one of the cheap small grocery shops. But in Turkey, in small shops like this, you cannot buy alcohol. For that, you need to go to a different store that exclusively sells alcohol. But those stores are also almost everywhere, especially in beach towns, so don't be afraid, you will be able to easily find them. And we decided to went further along the coast, looking for viewpoints and beaches. And this was our route from Gumbet to Akıyarlar. The road itself wasn't busy and it was quite easy to drive, and the views made it for a very enjoyable ride. We found this viewpoint on our way, and it was actually right next to a construction site, but nevertheless these views were really beautiful. We passed by some luxurious looking resorts, and if that's the holiday you want, you will be able to get it here. We ended up in a small restaurant next to a public beach, and I personally had a feeling that we were surrounded mostly by locals there, and the mood there was very relaxing. But the sea was quite shallow there and even a bit chilly. We saw some restaurants around that area, but decided to go back to Gumbet for dinner. And to get a better price, we went further away from the beach and settled on this Turkish food restaurant. They had the grill right in the middle of the restaurant where you can see your food being prepared. We ordered chicken shish, soup, extra potatoes and tea.